Now, for the show that brings combat sports stories to life from the great state of Ohio, this is Forged in Ohio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 50 of Forged in Ohio. As always, my name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. I can't believe I've been at this for 50 consecutive weeks. It's been one hell of a journey, and it's been very rewarding as well. I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. I wouldn't want to do anything else, and I would be nowhere without these fighters saying yes to coming on this very show. And I found it fitting to have the fighter who said yes to me the very first time almost a year ago. I found it fitting to have him on for episode 50 to talk about his recent knockout win to improve to 4-0 as a professional fighter. Without further ado, let's bring in the always exciting, the always entertaining Myles Robinson. Myles, this is the third time you've come on here, and I could not be more grateful, man.
Hell yeah, the third time's a charm, right?
Absolutely, man. So this isn't like me, Myles, but I have a selfish question to start. You were on episode 1 of Forged in Ohio just over a year ago. It was the week of Halloween, and before the show even existed, you said yes to an Instagram DM to a total stranger at the time. I want you to be 100% honest. What was your reaction to that first message a year ago?
As far as hell yeah, I'm pretty sure I was pretty positive. I'm like, yo, I'm down to help anybody out. It's kind of my nature. But it's awesome seeing, like, from that first episode how far you've come, especially from that first episode to you were at the weigh-ins doing this. I'm pretty proud of you, dog. It's come a long way. Fucking this shit is awesome. It's awesome to see what you've done with it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. You weren't at all like, who is this college kid asking for an interview over the phone for a show? Doesn't even exist.
Bro,
might not go anywhere. Nothing like that.
No, because I'm not anybody important. So, like,
oh, come on.
It's not like, yeah, man, I'm just little old Myles. So I was surprised I was getting reached out to be honest. Like, a lot of this stuff that happens in my life is stuff that I would never fathom, like me being on a platform, being able to talk about myself, talk to people like you, and do what I'm doing isn't really something I ever envisioned for myself. So the fact that you reached out to me was I felt like, man, damn, that's pretty awesome right there in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you have no idea how much that first yes meant to me, and I don't think I could have picked a better fighter for number 1 and now for number 50. And everyone knows that there are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and most fail before reaching 10 episodes. So 50 is a big deal, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else, man.
Oh, yeah, best podcast in the world.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So, all right, enough about me, enough about Forged in Ohio for now. Let's get into your last fight on September 9th at Cage Thunder 23. I asked you last time how good it felt to be 3-0. Well, now how good does it feel to be 4-0?
Feels good, man. Feels like a lot of hard work is continued to pay off. I don't really get to show all of it in the cage just because of how the fights have gone, but I feel like this, even though this did end in the first round, I feel like some questions got answered. Like, I've never had anybody really try to take me down in a fight before. So what happens when that happens? Derek Lewis, just get up, bro. Fucking Saul Red and stand up. So those are some things that I'm, like, working on and getting excited for as the levels progress. I said before the fight, I thought Brogan was going to be the toughest fight that I've had. And even though the result aside, that has been the toughest fight I've had so far. Like, he actually, I mean, I've never had somebody come and actually try to take me down. And he had success. He took me down. But just knowing that, like, my training is paying off, because I didn't panic in that situation. I just went into what my training was. We had worked for being in those positions. And like, as far as mentally, like, going into fights beforehand, especially actually the Tom Kaiser fight. That was the first guy that was like a wrestler that I fought, and having that, not necessarily anxiety because I'm confident in my skills, but like, I've never been on my back before. What's that gonna feel like? And I haven't experienced that. And experiencing it and me, just how my personality and my fighting style, I don't like being in those kind of positions. Being on my back isn't like fucking the greatest thing ever. I'm not like, I am a grappler, but you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be throwing stuff. I'm not going to be throwing triangles and shit off my back. You know what I'm saying? But getting in that position, a lot of times when you're so used to how your fights go a certain way, when something goes negative, that's a big, like, mental, like, thing. Like, damn, this worst case scenario off rip. But just having that mental fortitude to just, all right, I got taken that back down, so we're on the ground now. I can get back up. Honestly, I feel like bro, I'm gonna start mauling people, like, to be honest, on the ground. Like, that's the one thing that in my head, like, I like the fact that I knock people out, because then I get to go home and be safe and shit goes how it goes. But I really feel like my grappling is coming along, and that's something that in this fight, I feel like there would have been an opportunity for me to show that. And oh well, I showed a little bit. Y'all can't hold me down, so maybe next time we'll be able to show off a little bit of this grappling skills, because I'm turning. I might be half Dagestani. See the little beard coming and starting to fill in.
Yes, sir, man. So I was going to ask about the takedown, and I give you and your opponent, Brogan Endress, that night a lot of respect. But in attendance that night, I was kind of surprised that he was able to take you down. Were you surprised that you were taken down in that first round?
Bro, his arms was dumbass long. Like, bro, I thought, like, I have pretty good, I have a good takedown defense. I don't think I'm easy to take down at all. Like, that's a place where, like, I have a lot of confidence in defending. And I thought I was doing a pretty good job. When we got back there a second time, he kind of struggled with being able to get me back down, and we ended up moving out of that position. But his arms had locked under my butt, and I didn't think his like where his body was and where his arms were. I was like, oh, he's got his like arms clasped like behind my butt. I was like, I don't even know how he got there. And from that point on, this is where like my like evolution of me as a fighter, where I was like, damn, I'm getting taken down. But one thing, I've trained a ton with Josiah for this camp, and AJ has always said, he was like, when you get to different positions, you're just in those positions. So it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm getting taken down. Fuck, I'm getting taken down. I was like, oh, I'm getting taken back down. What's the next battle after that? But I mean, I got to get prepared for those. I mean, I know last time we talked about that cage time, and I feel like I still don't want to be in there for long periods of time if I can get you out as fast as possible. But it's about having those experiences, even going forward, even though that fight was short. Now I've experienced being taken down. That's not something that I have to worry about. Not that necessarily I don't have to worry about, but it's something that I've experienced and know how to mitigate going forward.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I know it was still a first-round finish, a very impressive one at that, but is there something to be said about you facing some adversity before getting the knockout rather than landing a finishing blow just, 37 seconds into it, as you did against Tom Kaiser in your third pro fight?
Yeah, because, again, like I've said, I have a lot of skills that hasn't been shown. I don't want people to just well, you can if you want, just whatever. The proof is going to be in the pudding every time I go out. But I feel like I'm billed as a striker, like just a striker. But there's other skills behind that. And I feel like just experiencing adversity gets to show, like, damn, all right, like if I were like not a fly on the wall, but someone looking at my fights, right, I would think, oh, we're going to go and try and take him down. And having shown that all right, taking me down isn't the recipe. Like, it's going to be a little bit more work than that. Just putting some of that out there, just show that I have other skills that you have to be concerned about. All right, if we get Myles to the ground, what happens at that point? Now we got to work that. I got some shit in my bag. Like, Hermione and Harry Potter got that bag where you can climb in and live in. Like, my bag is getting to that point. Like, I'm adding in. Like, we're like, the Ohio boys are starting to, like, we're all starting to work together, and we're all starting to train together. And the environment that is being built here and being bred is something that I feel like in a couple years we're going to look back on and see how high level a lot of us are getting and becoming is going to be fucking crazy. And it's coming. It's happening. We're watching it now. I feel like we're living in a real cool era in Ohio MMA sports and everything. And I feel like we're going to look back on these next couple of years and see like, damn, that was that crew, that group of, maybe it's going to be 10 of us. Who knows how many come around. But we're going to be like, damn, that was like a squad. Like the Ohio guys had a bunch of killers coming. And I feel like I'm reaching that level of where the next couple, one or two, I'm gonna be knocking on that door of being a world-class fighter for sure.
Absolutely, man. And I love being just a small part of this rise in Ohio MMA. It's been such an honor to cover the past couple months and really a year now almost for Forged in Ohio. Going back to your fight, though, did you know that when you stood back up and got yourself out of that clinch and the takedown, that the fight was in your hands and a finish was coming soon in that first round?
Yeah. These guys come and they get in my face real early, and they shouldn't. I don't know why. But like, so I got anxiety. So we're gonna figure it out fast. Like that's like I'm gonna make that initial contact, and then whatever comes for that is what we're gonna do. But if you watch my fights, that distance gets closed really fast. Like get trained with Matt. If you watch all the Immortal guys, we kind of have a similar push forward. I got to get to you, and we got to figure something out during all of this. And part of that comes with having my cardio and everything. But when I get back up to the feet, that's where I feel the most comfortable, and I know what I know what my gifts are, and I know how to make the most out of those. I know I'm explosive. I know I'm fast. I know I'm strong. It's just a matter of me having that delivery system like calibrated, and they come out and they get in my face and then they get touched, and then I see what happens when they get touched. So now, and that's the beginning of the fight. It's not that I have tried to launch on them, nothing. I just tried to touch you, and I see the eyes go different. So now it's a finishing sequence from that point on. Now it's like, all right, cool. I just have to mitigate I don't try and get too wild. I get to be calm and figure stuff out and snipe when the opening comes. And I mean, at some point someone's going to have, Brogan had a pretty good chin, but I mean, it lasted one round. And the one thing so I train at Westside Barbell, and that's, I was telling the guy that helps me out there, Mac, that when I get into the fights, it feels like they're expecting the exchanges to, so boom, and I even heard it on the broadcast. Myles is throwing bombs, like he's throwing big shots, and you feel as if there's no way, especially as big and explosive and everything, that's going to slow down. That will last for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of you having to deal with every time, boom, boom, boom. So at a certain point, you have to deal with that. Obviously, someone I'm gonna face is not gonna be like that, but that's where the skill is gonna come in. Like I haven't had a chance to be able to show that there is any thought process behind what I'm doing and how I'm executing and what it is. And eventually I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna be really excited to be able to show that skill. I feel like every fight that I've had so far, I felt like it's gonna be that one. Eventually, it's gonna be there. But that's why I feel like my preparation is getting so good, because I feel like every single one is gonna be the one where I have to pull out all the stuff I've learned and utilize all my skills. And not luckily, it's because of my preparation. I haven't had to, but when I do, I feel like I'm gonna become scared than what I am when people know what all I can do. Like that's what the good thing and what helps my confidence is I'm a lot scarier than what people think I am. And it's just a matter of me being able to show that and have a showcase for that.
Yeah, and I believe it. I had your teammate at Strong Style, Walter Scotty Cy Savain, on episode 48, and he talked about going to deep waters with you, and he said the number one thing you stressed to him when he was turning pro was cardio. and having the stamina to go those 15 minutes. Sounds like you have that well in your bag.
Yeah, man. And Walt is one of those people where Walt has, like, you've seen him. He's a specimen. So when the game slows down for him, it's gonna be like I prepared, and that's the other thing is that having to prepare with the guys that I'm preparing with. You got the Waltz, you got Chase, you got Mad Max, you got Dylan, you got Matt, you got Josiah. You have all these guys to where we're operating at such a high level that you get different stuff from different people. Like range, like I had to learn how, like, fighting Brogan as tall as he is wasn't anything as preparing for Walt. The cardio of Josiah doesn't slow down. Matter of fact, he picks up the pace as long as he goes. So my cardio has to go. Grappling with Josiah, grappling with Dante, wrestling with Chase. You have to hope that I get tired at some point, because what I'm experiencing in the gym is like you're not that, and I'm working on my skills as it is. And I know that. I'm like, yo, based off physical gifts and God-given ability, I'm here. All right, based on skill, I'm continuing to grow this. What is one thing that I, outside of me continuously doing, that's something I have to do, is work on my skill. Something that is something internal that I can control is making sure I don't get tired. If I don't get tired and my skill is up to a certain standard and my physical abilities are up to a certain standard, I'm a hard fucking out for anybody. That's just genuinely what I feel. Like, unless you can get me to start wilting in there, which I make sure damnedest that I'm not. That's a tough night to deal with. And the guys that are out here that we have to train with and to work with, we're all getting there. Like, it's, bro, we had a room on Tuesday at Immortal, and Matt has been amazing with being able to help cultivate this environment that we have in Columbus now. And bro, that was one of the best rooms, like the rooms that like, bro, you gotta come down sometime and check it out, bro. Like, bro, some of the training sessions that we have Dante Leon is here in Ohio. He's number one 155-pound grappler in the world, bro. Like, he's here training with us. He's bringing his boys, bro. His main training partner is like the number 2 guy in the world at his weight class. He's a legit world champion. All these guys are here in Ohio, and like what we have and what we're starting to do, because we're all starting to, bro, we don't have to fight each other. It doesn't have to be all this fucking ill will because gyms don't like each other, bro. We can all get each other better, and it really be Ohio against the world. Like the shit's coming, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I love that Ohio against the world mentality, and I'd be more than happy to make another trip down to Immortal and see you guys get to work as well. Now that you are 4-0 as a pro, you have that 100% finish rate. Do you sometimes like surprise yourself with what you're able to do in the cage since you are 4-0, again, with those 4 knockouts?
Surprise, no, because I know what my preparation is. When I knock the guys out 100%, because I'm not, I hate saying, like, oh, I'm not really trying to punch as hard as I can, but it's bro, if I do things, so at the fight, I try to be the most technical as I possibly can, as far as like my straight punches and things like that. And at a certain point, physics kicks in. So it's surprising because, I mean, people that fought, it's never like the punch that you really think that is going to be that knocks them out is going to be the one. Like when I dropped Brogan, it wasn't really, I was like, oh, damn, he's down. But it's not surprising. It's just kind of surprising when it happens. It's like, this is what I prepared to do, and because of my preparation, my execution is this way, and because of my execution, this is the result. But every time it happens, I'm like, oh. I get to the back, and I look at my hands, and I'm like, oh my god, like oh my goodness, what what do I have here? Oh my goodness, I can't believe they're letting me walk around with these things. This is craziness. But that's really the only surprise. Like, I know how hard I work, and like, again, you were at the fight after it. Like, I have so many people that fucking believe in me. Like, I have to make sure my preparation is at a certain level because how I view the fight, like, if you watch me in the back during the fight, like, I'm teeth all showing. I'm having a blast because I work so goddamn hard. There has to be something where at some point where I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And I work hard enough that usually practice ain't the funnest. You know what I'm saying? I love what I do, but if I'm preparing how I think, I shouldn't be having a great fun time at practice all the time. There's days and times for that, but for the most part, I'm here to fucking suffer and get after the shit. I'm spending time away from my kids, my wife, my family, all kinds of shit to chase this goal that I have. So with that, fight night is where I get to be free. I've talked here before about me being manic as fuck. That's where I get to let all of it out. Like, be a wild person for a little bit. So I got like smiling from ear to ear, fucking taking it all in, feeling the energy. Like, if anybody's listening to this that's never been to a fight live, go into a Walmart and then just like cause chaos ensue. Like, it's fucking the most wild shit ever. You see the calmest people at fights turn into completely different people just because of how carnal it is. It's fucking like you're in a coliseum. But being able to go out there and just have fun and be free just allows, like, yo, if I'm having fun, it's like, I used to be one of those people that got like all riled up and shit for the fights, bro. I take naps now beforehand, like at the venue. I'm curled up in the ball with my, it's another day for me to, this is what the fight is, what I love. Like, I love, like, this is where I get to have all my fun. It's a combination of all my work. And then I get to show, it's like a recital. I get to show, like, oh, my mom and my kids and my wife get to see, all right, y'all let me do a whole bunch of wild stuff. Not wild stuff, but they sacrificed a lot. And I get to show them the fruit of all my labor and why all of that is worth it, and why you should continue to believe in me and let me go down this path that I'm going. Because as long as y'all not let me, but as long as I am able to and afforded the opportunity to work as hard as I can and make it worth it, that's all it's about. I want my kids, my wife, my family and friends to be proud of me. And every time I get to go out there, I know what I've done. So as long as I get to show that, like, that's what makes the result aside. As long as I get to go out there and show that, the dude might be better than me. But if I can walk out and my wife is like, I know you worked hard. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah, there were a ton of Don't Melt shirts that night. What was it like to fight in Ohio for the first time as a pro and in front of so many loved ones?
Great. So it's awesome because you get to see, like, how your family, like, a lot of my family, they get to watch it from a distance, but being at the fight is a lot different. So you got your family in the back wanting to see you before the fight because it's just like they got that nervous energy, but all of it is I feel like younger Myles would have hated all of it. Like, I probably wouldn't have, like, I used to tell my wife I didn't really like fighting in Ohio because there was a lot of, like, anxiety because all my friends, but I fought here. My whole amateur career was spent fighting in Ohio. So I felt like in my amateur career, I kind of had like a different mindset of when I went into the fights, but now I've gotten mature and older and my preparation is better. It's like my mindset on fight night is a lot more relaxed and going with it because I have 15 minutes to do whatever I need to do, and I get to go out of it. It's funny, me and my cousin are like wonder twins. Like, we got, our personalities are pretty about the same, to be honest with you. And he was like, bro, I gotta see you, cuz I gotta see you before you fight. And usually I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay, get my mind right. And I was like, I'm gonna pop out. And he gave me such good energy because you could, it's like a belief. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not in there by myself. Like, I have I got a community in there fighting with me. You know what I'm saying? He gave me a big old hug. But things like that go like a long way, especially when you're able to take in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm sure he had all kinds of anxiety. He's about to watch his cousin go out there and possibly get his ass beat by some dude. You know what I'm saying? And without saying anything, he didn't speak about the fight. He didn't talk about, yo, you're gonna go out there and beat ass and da da da. He just gave me a big old hug. Like, shit like that. That's just love. You know what I'm saying? And having that love like around me meant the world. Now I know there's only be a couple more of those moments and stuff, because hopefully, God willing, I'm gonna be traveling the world. But I know for as long as I can, and hopefully I can get this Black McGregor era going, and I can get some money, I can start flying my family out when I start fucking people up in Belize and shit, or whatever the fuck they have, Singapore, or wherever. I want to travel the world and whoop ass, man. Like, put me on a jet. I want to be a jet-setting fighter for the rest of my life.
So you had that incredible post-fight interview where you talked about working hard for those around you. It was the best post-fight interview of the night. And you also sported a shirt that said, check on your strong friends. What sparked those aspects of the fight for you?
I wasn't really, this is actually funny because my wife is the only person that picked up on it. This is random, and I'm going to answer your question. But when I started that interview, I said, he's like, how do you feel about the fight? And I said, give like a one-word answer. I had watched a YouTube video the day before it was Travis Scott and Nardwar, and Nardwar asked him this huge thing, and Travis just looked at him and said, belt. It was just one word answer, and he just kept it. And so I responded like that, and then I paused, and I almost laughed because that video popped into my head. And I had sent it to my wife, and we were laughing. But then sometimes there's some shit just gets onto you, that gets in your spirit of like some stuff you want to get out. And I don't ever have anything like planned to say. Like in my head, like when I'm like visualizing the fight, I always think I'm gonna do some cool dance and do some whatever. But also, it's been a while since I've fought and someone actually interviewed me right afterwards. And just having all those people there, because I've been traveling around fighting, I just kind of wanted to let them know like how I feel about what they do and how they support me. So that was really, really all that was. Like the words just kind of started coming out. I almost fucked it all up because I almost started crying laughing. Bro, like I think that video is hilarious. If anybody knows what that video is, this is a stupid video. It's so dumb, but like I almost cracked up before I started saying whatever I was saying. But yeah, I just had some stuff in my heart that I wanted to let the people know. Like I got a lot of people that do a lot of things for me and afford me the privilege to chase this dream. So let them know, and let the people like around me that may not know what I'm about or may be going through whatever they're going through, know that if they have anybody, it could be one person that just fucking believes in you, bro, just work hard. If it's not for you, if it's not for yourself, because sometimes it's hard to do stuff for yourself because sometimes we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and have the greatest image of ourselves. But if you have one person that thinks you are fucking perfect, that's all you need. Until you can get yourself in your mind to think that you're that person, if you got one person that looks at you that way, they deserve for you to work hard. And that's all I really wanted to tell the people out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great stuff, and I think that's just one example of many to where you are just one of the most entertaining fighters on the mic in the state of Ohio right now. Once again, we are talking to Myles Robinson on Forged in Ohio. I know I asked you about it on Forged in Ohio's Cage Thunder 23 Pro Weigh-In show, but I thought I'd bring it up here too. What were your experiences like training at Xtreme Couture prior to this fight?
Awesome. So I went out there twice. Once that was May, and then once like a month before the fight. So I went out there in May. I was out there with Max Metzger the first time. First time I went out there, it's great overall experience. But I would say great for my confidence and also humbling at the same point in time, because you have so many looks out there. So you get out there, and I'm able to see people that are my same experience, right? So trained with a couple guys that are 170s that are like 4-0, 5-0 around me, right? Get to see like, all right, these other guys are prospects, are on the same kind of trajectory as me. Let me see where I stack up. this is actually hilarious. So one day we have spar, and of course I'm a new guy at the gym. So spar this dude's like a 6'3" like Mexican dude named Tarzan, and dude's a badass. Like it's like 5-0 all finishes. Like leg is like a noodle, crazy. But he don't know how to wrestle. Take him down. Everything's cool. Confidence through the roof. And I'm new out there. I'm like, yo, tell Max, hey, get some videos of my rounds for me or whatever, right? I don't know. I think Max was recording that, and I don't know what happened on the side, but I get done, bell rings. Chris Curtis is like right in my face, and he says, yo, you're my next round. And I'm like, cool, bet. I completely forgot that Max has his phone out and is recording. I don't know if that's bad gym. It probably is bad gym etiquette. Because if I was on the other side, like I'd be kind of like, bro, what you doing? But whatever. I get my ass kicked for 3 rounds. 3 rounds, bro. I think he was trying to kick my leg in half. But here's the thing, and this is what I learned, and I actually taught to him and Sean Strickland when I went back this second time, is I got caught up in, like, not to say like I was like he was trying to hurt me or anything, but the level of like the standard out there, everybody out there is operating at a certain level because this is their job, this is their career. Yo, I'm top 5 in the world. I'm not bullshitting like ever. I'm out there like, oh my God, this is Chris Curtis. Oh no. And so I'm out here, I'm playing around or whatever, and the intensity of what's the Brian Day called competitive stamina. Like he was operating at this level and kept it at a certain, and I never matched it, and I never was able to rise up to that. And I don't think it was a skill thing, but I do think it was just some people are at certain points were better competitors or competitors at all points in time, and that was a mental switch I had to learn. And when I came back the second time, I didn't spar Chris the second time, but me and him had a conversation, and Sean Strickland, Sean Strickland's personality, what you see on TV and everything, that's him in real life. He's a wild man. But what people don't get to see is, even though I've only been there like here and there and like in scarce moments, he's actually a real leader in that gym. And I had another day, the second time, I went back out with Mark Antonelli right before our fights because we were fighting around the same time. And he pulled me to the side and was telling me about, he's like, hey, man, he's like, you have to get used to competing. Like, he's like, that's a trait. Like, you can't just turn it on. Some people have the ability to just turn it on at any point in time. He's like, but what you have to, he's like, I can see like off physical ability and physical skill or whatever. He's like, you have it. He's like, but you're letting guys just out-compete you. Which, not to say anything about back here, it's just like these guys are familiar, if that makes sense. So it's a little bit easier to not necessarily, and that's one thing that's changing. Like the rooms are getting fucking competitive as hell, and I fucking love it. But that was also something I just had to get used to. Maybe people were competing with me and I wasn't just matching that, but it was something I had to start consciously thinking of. And that mixed with just the different looks and things that I haven't seen or been exposed to, because you go out there and it might be just a whole crew from Mexico was here this 1 month. The last time I went out there was a bunch of Russians out there, so I got to wrestle some Dagestanis and experience that and see what that's like. And getting used to just, all right, I don't care who you are, what you do, let me just compete with you. It's not about, all right, it is about winning and losing, but I'm not trying to hurt you, but I'm going to compete with you, getting that standard. Like, if you take me down, all right, I'm getting back up. I'm not accepting positions. All right, you might be better at me here, but I'm going to try and find another path to win. And I feel like that change has helped me. That change in itself, when I got back, that was when I started to view things as a martial artist, because I was like, all right, I need to figure out I can't have any holes in my game, because if I need to compete, I can't just accept positions because you're better than me here. I need to start expanding my knowledge and and improving instead of relying on athleticism. I need to find the people that are better than me at these areas and start improving. Start asking for help. Start using the resources I have. Start asking Matt for picking his brain and start developing my mind more, because competitiveness isn't necessarily a thing that you can do physically. It's something it's a mindset that you have. So my competitiveness came from, all right, I might not be able to out athlete everybody. That's a physical trait. I need to get my mental game there. So when you start playing chess, I can play chess too. It's not that I don't know the rules. I got to be able to keep up with every move that okay, I saw that. Now I need to be able to find this path and start developing that. And that's been the one big thing that I experienced out there. Now the changes happened when I got back. I go out there for like a check and balances to see where I'm at, because I know those guys are improving. So when I come back and I've leveled up, I get to go back out there and see, all right, what areas can I improve in? What can I come back and bring back to the guys, or show the guys, or take something back out there that happens out here, and just use it as like an information like sharing type thing. Be able to come back and show these guys, hey, this is some ideas that they have going on out there. They train a little bit different than we do here for the most part, but be able to help our guys here that we're working with, because if we can build this community up, we don't have to travel all that much. I know I like to, just because sometimes I have a lot going on here, so being able to get out there without the wife and kids and be able to just train and get a reset before I come back for stuff helps me. But I like to be the guy where I can go out there and maybe take one or two guys out there with me, and then when we come back, everybody's level rises, and now over the next 2 months we're busting ass, which I feel like if you've looked at the results, it's been happening. It's been Ohio MMA is on the fucking rise, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah, so Max Metzger talked to me about your trip to Xtreme Couture on Forge in Ohio, and he said how you guys felt like you had to bring back what you learned there to Ohio and teach it to up-and-comers in the state. Did that put pressure on your shoulders to fulfill that role both at Immortal and Strong Style and really elevate those gyms like you're talking about?
No, it didn't really feel like pressure. It just felt like something that just needed to happen. And it's not that so the coaching here is up to par. Like, we have all the resources and everything that's up to par. It's more so keeping the level of intensity. Like per se, me and Walt getting ready for our fights, right? I've had fight camps where my sparring rounds were, I don't want to say going through the motions, but it wasn't competing. Me and Walt were fighting, damn near fighting. Like, we're trying to like necessarily hurt each other, but like competing with each other. Like, we have to push each other hard. So it's like leading by example. Like, yo, like, we need to do this, or taking guys aside, helping out. Like, one thing I've tried to do is, even after my fight, just come in and like help. Like, sometimes I have a lot going on, but let me come in and help these other guys with their fight camps and everything like that. Let me go stop in. I know Max trains at Ronin, so every once in a while, let me pop in and help in over there. So it's not really like a pressure. It's just actionable things. Like, because me and him can talk about it, but like, we're not the guys that's going to go in there and tell everybody, because it's an individual sport at the end of the day. Not everybody's going to listen. We're not fucking team captains and shit like that. But when you see these guys see us come back and we're interacting at these different locations, and you see that our level is increasing because we're interacting with these different guys, and we're not having an ego of training with guys that we thought we might fight as amateurs, or this guy's the same weight class as me, and showing other people that that's fine. And it's also, I don't even want to take all the credit for it, because Matt and Josiah and Jaden had started doing it kind of around that same time as well. But it's now we have like-minded people looking for the same thing. Even with the guys up at Strong Style, like, there's Mo, for his last camp, was bringing in guys like Jarrell Hodge was bringing in guys from those gyms. So I think it's more so the next generation of guys that are coming up are starting to see the bro, we have good people here. We don't need to travel. It's just a matter of getting everybody else on the same page of getting out of that. Um, the world is a lot bigger than what Ohio is. But Ohio has a lot of stuff that we can end up taking over the world if we really cultivate what we have here. But it's just a matter of removing a little bit of that ego so we can all get there, because there's room for everybody to eat. And then once we're at the top, we're all making money. So if we got to fight each other for money, cool. But we're fighting for pennies right now. So there's no point in us being all against each other.
We've already talked about how you train at Immortal and Strong Style. That alone is a 2-hour drive, along with making trips to Nevada. How difficult is it to organize your fight camps, and have you considered moving out to Las Vegas full-time to train at Xtreme Couture?
No. So I'm gonna be honest, I thought about it. I found a recipe that works for me, and I don't think I can ever leave Immortal or Strong Style. There's something now. I feel like Xtreme Couture is going to be a part of the recipe. Just going out there and having that checks and balances, and I feel like I'm starting to build a community where I can go out there and get training. But the people that I'm sticking with the people that have come up with me. Alex and Marcus and Matt, and so they've invested a lot, and there's a lot of skills that I have that I feel separate me from other people, especially when I travel, and there's some things that I do that other people just don't really incorporate or see, like Matt's clinch. That's a game changer right there. A lot of my boxing has improved light years from working with Alex at Immortal, and I've gotten to this point because of them. I can't just, the bells and whistles out in Las Vegas are amazing. Like, it's good high level training, but that's not what's got me here. What's got me here is the people I've trained with, and the people that have rocked with me so far. So I'm gonna continue to rock out with those guys, rock out with my brothers. And the drive really isn't, I've been doing it for so long now. Like, it's 2 hours, but it's not really all that bad for me now. I kind of do it with my eyes. I don't do it with my eyes closed, but I can do it with my eyes closed. And the other part with building the community now is I can bring friends with me. Like obviously there's a respect thing, so I always make sure everything's cool with the guys at Strong Style. But again, like, I'm going up tonight, right? We're going up to sparring. I got 2 guys coming up with me tonight from Columbus, because you're starting to see the results are paying off. Like, I feel like me and AJ started training up here a while ago, and we kind of got looked at like it's crazy to be like, why are y'all driving 2 hours and da-da-da? But still, there's something to be said for going and picking the minds of some other people that you don't see every day. Like, going and getting a humbling experience because this guy has been working on something that you've never seen before. Going to pick their brains about these different things. And I feel like some of the guys, now that we're starting to cross train a lot more, are starting to see the value in that. And it doesn't have to be all the time. Like, they understand that I live 2 hours away, so sometimes I can't make it up. But my job is as part of creating that community, is I give them, even though I live in Columbus, I try and give those guys as much support as I can, show up to their fights. When I'm not in fight camp, I help those guys with their fight camps, and vice versa. And same thing with the guys here in Immortal. It's a matter of me. I feel like at a certain point I'm growing into, I don't want to call myself a leader, but you just got to lead by example. Like, it's okay to be able to travel and do all these things as long as you're taking care of what you need and what's best for you. It's an individual sport, so not everything works for everybody. So you have to try and dabble and just communicate with everybody as well. But like, I feel like Vegas will be there for me. Like, it's not moving. I train with Lance Palmer, and that's kind of how I got a lot of the connections out there. My management is also out there, Iridium. So I have the ability to go out there and train here and there, and get the coaching that's out there. But I got to rock with the people that have helped me develop this style that I have and what I do up to this point, because without them, no one else, people are going to try and change what I do. I have to have the people that I know I've gone to war and gone to battle with, especially when these battles and wars are going to get bigger and the lights are going to get brighter. I want to have people with me that have been there from day one, and there ain't gonna be a day that goes by. I swear to God that you're not gonna see Big Al Diddy in my corner. Alex is my fucking dog, man. So him, Matt's always gonna be a part of the recipe. Marcus is gonna be a part of the recipe. You might see some other people put their foot in here and there, but it's always gonna be an immortal and strong style party, and we might have a little guest showings from Xtreme Couture from here and there.
Yeah, I love hearing the loyalty to the home state and to your home gyms and Strong Style and Immortal for sure. But I know Xtreme Couture has made some headlines recently, and you already name dropped a couple guys, Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis. Do you still stay in touch with those guys, especially Chris Curtis, who's a fellow Ohio guy himself?
No, I'm not gonna hold you. It's more so when we're there, I'm a familiar face because I've been there, and we kind of talk when we're there. We're not like homies or anything like that. They're good guys, and they're, like I said, like they're leaders in the gym. So when I'm there, I'm really respectful and try and have some camaraderie. There's a decent amount of Ohio guys. Kobe Fair is out there. Alex Poinar, if I'm pronouncing his name right, is out there. So a lot of the guys that I go out there and see are from here back home, and we kind of came up in the amateurs together. So being able to go out there is like a little bit familiar. And Lance is out there, and Lance is big dog. So like Lance go out there, I get to, hey, I'm with him, and he's like, yeah, he cool. So it's cool like that. But I follow them on Instagram, and then I don't try and be too weird because I'm only there for a couple weeks at a time. It's not like we're like best friends or anything. So it's respect when I see them, but I'm happy for them because that was fucking awesome. I saw what was happening in the gym before that fight got announced, and I wasn't surprised when I saw what Sean Strickland did. That shit was amazing. And when I saw it in the gym I was like, damn, I wish I would have bet some money on it.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were surprised or not because you had experienced that gym, and that was actually the same night you had fought when Sean Strickland upset Israel Adesanya for the UFC Middleweight Championship. And a lot of credit for that gym obviously goes to their coach, Eric Nixick, potentially the 2023 MMA Coach of the Year. Any opportunities to meet him and test that mind that he has for the sport?
Yeah, so when I'm out there, Iridium puts me in contact with him. He kind of is who allows me to go in there and train. And I've gone to some of their classes. I haven't been able to work with them like one-on-one much, just because I haven't been able to get out there for like an extended period of time, just as of yet. So I kind of get into classes, pick his brain here and there. Me and Max were able to get a little bit of one-on-one work with him, but he's a big dude. That's a big dude. He's like a fucking linebacker, bro. It's just crazy. But the stuff that I have been able to pick up from him, like, so they have it's so many looks. So it's so many different things of like how things work and what he's seen, because they have so many people that come through there that he's able to tell you, hey, like this, let's try this. All right, boom, 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 try this. All right, look at this. All right, boom. And then how their coaching works out there it's real interesting on how they do stuff, because nothing is like you experience the different guys, and then like some of the rules that they have for what they're trying to do gives you a lot of room for creativity, because they have so many guys that come in there that fight different ways. So it's like boom, 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 and then you have an option off of this, whatever you want to do and create. And that helps me come back and open up a little bit more of my creativity on how I want to interact with different, especially with my striking. And then the grappling aspect, like they have world class. Jake Shields is out there. I went out to 10th Planet. Was Coach Casey up at 10th Planet Henderson. It's fucking amazing. Or I think it's 10th Planet Las Vegas, but it's in Henderson, Nevada. Rolling with some of those guys over there. They're fucking amazing as well. But yeah, he's the man. It's not a surprise that they're getting the result that they're getting out of there.
Once again, this is Myles Robinson with us on Forged in Ohio. I know you took a vacation since your win on September 9th, but any idea of when you'll be back in there?
It's looking like hopefully December. It's the Cage Thunder card in December.
December 16th?
Yeah, so somebody sign up to get their ass whooped. A. B. I know this is a 2, but we're gonna call this B.
Sure.
B gonna pack it out And C, I'm dropping shirts for that fight too. So we got a new Don't Melt drop coming. And matter of fact, we're gonna have some expansion on Don't Melts to be announced soon. We got some other stuff that we coming up with that we're gonna be unrolling some new things that we're gonna be offering. But December should be a big month. Should be fighting, packing out the Canton Civic Center, putting another head on the mantle. Have some new shirts for the crowd to rock when we go out there. After that, hoping to turn around, fight early 2024. Get me another one on the resume, and hopefully that'll go ahead and lead me right into the Contender Series or bigger and better things, because it's about time to get some eyes on me and get some bigger fish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So you went ABC, so I have ABC too. I can't wait for the Don't Melt drop. Definitely have to get one myself this time around. B, I can't wait to see you fight again at Cage Thunder. I think it'll be 25 by the time they go in December at Canton Civic Center. I know a couple of your teammates are already booked for that card as well. And then C, just how exciting is it for you to actually fight at such a big venue at the Canton Civic Center and another fight in the state of Ohio?
Awesome. I'm excited to. Hopefully we could get we're gonna get a big crowd. I really at this point, hopefully I get to be the main event, because every time I go and fight, I envision myself as the main event. I feel as if when I'm on the card, I'm what people are coming to watch. Like you're showing up hoping I am what you think I am, and so far so good. But being able to get that in front of a lot more eyes in my home state, get a little bit more support before I get on this run that I'm about to go on. Hopefully be able to show a lot more people what we have going on here, because I feel like the fighters know, but as far as getting the fans on board on what, like, damn, we have like a young crop of, like, damn, this one, he different. This one right here, that's gonna be the one. So being able to show just some more people that before I'm traveling the world and doing this stuff, is I want to have a solid fan base back in Ohio and give them something to be proud of. So go out there, get another performance under my belt. And a lot of these people, especially in the Canton and Akron area, have been seeing me since I was in my early 20s fighting. So I feel like they get to see me grow up in the sport, and big plan is to get on to bigger and better shows. Well, Cage Thunder is an awesome show, but bigger, more eyes, better exposure, and hopefully the Canton Civic Center can be a great send-off. Hopefully we get a big win and off to the races from that point on.
It's interesting that you said you want a main event, because in the main event of Cage Thunder 23, the infamous Julian Lane subbed Andrew Law in the first round in your weight class. And Randy Jarvis, the promoter of Cage Thunder, said that Julian Lane is likely main eventing at the Canton Civic Center. Is that a fight that would potentially interest you?
If they offer it, I'm down for whatever. Julian, listen, they pay me as whatever. I'm down to fight whatever, as long as it makes sense and they give me an offer. Me and him talked in the back. He's a really, really nice guy. So obviously no animosity towards him or anything like that. He's a great dude. He gave me a really cool speech before the fighters meeting, actually. That was like really awesome and really resonated with me. So all respect to him, but if we got to get in there and mix it up, I'm down for whatever. We can get it figured out. So if he's down to do that, let's make it happen, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good, man. So one more for you. I'll finish with this. It's been a question I've asked a couple of fighters lately. A year from now, October 2024, you'll of course be on episode 100 of Forged in Ohio. But on a serious note, where do you think you are this time next calendar year?
Signed to the UFC. Usually do Contender Series in like around September. Getting ready for my UFC debut. If not, have signed to the UFC on short notice and already be 2 fights in. Yeah, I want to get these next 2 out, and then I want to put my name in. If something falls out short notice, throw me into the wolves. If not, October around this year, I should have got my Contender Series fight out the way and be preparing for the next steps in my journey.
Are you open for like one of those short notice appearances in the UFC?
Hell yeah, I believe in myself. Fuck somebody up, dog. Just give me the opportunity. I'll fuck somebody up. Especially bro, I work a real job. Like, you give me, I don't know what the contract is, but like 10 bands to go punch somebody in the head, bro, man, yes, I'll do it every day. If as long as my body hold up, I'll go in there and scrap. God damn it. I don't want to have to work, bro. I sell phones. I sell phones for a living. I work at T-Mobile. Anything to get me to not have to help this lady sign into her Facebook password that I just met. Like, bro, yeah, get me out. I'm trying to be a trophy dad, trophy husband. You feel me? Stay at home, look good, mow the lawn with my abs out, pick my kids up from school.
There you go, man. That's the life. Well, before we wrap up, anything you want to shout out in terms of social media handles, sponsorships, anything you want to plug here on the podcast?
I want to shout out Westside Barbell Official. Go to their website. You can use promo code Myles Robinson 10 to get 10% off with anything on their site. Shout out As Canny brand. If you've seen some of my workout videos, they have the most comfortable shirts ever. It's AZCANY on Instagram. Go check them out. Don't Melt, of course. Listen to the first episode, maybe a little bit of the second episode. You can kind of get the story upon what that's about and everything like that. Next drop for that will be my next fight. Make sure you go check out Cage Thunder. Tell them to get me an opponent. Tell them to get me on the December 16th card. Tell them to put me on the main event. Tell them to show me some love. And outside of that, shout out to you. Congratulations on the 50th episode, my guy. Look forward to being on the 100th one, and more success to you, dog.
Thank you, man. I appreciate those kind words, and thanks again for just joining me on the show. I can't believe this is the third time we've done this, and I think it was even better doing it this time with video now that I've advanced that far. You've done it twice now, and I'll ask you to do it for a third time. Of course, it's the OHIO chant to end the show.
I got you.
OHIO. Thanks, Myles. I can't thank you enough for being on episodes 1, 23, and now 50 in Forged in Ohio's history. And when you become a superstar in the UFC, don't forget about me. Don't forget about Forged in Ohio, man.
Never forget you. Best podcast in the world, man.
Thanks, bro. I wish you the best moving forward, man.
All right. You have a great one.
That was Myles Robinson, the 4-0 professional mixed martial artist with a 100% finish rate. That's how you know he's the real deal, and he'll always mean a lot to me knowing that he was on episode 1 last October. It was pretty special now to have him on episode 50 nearly a year later, and I can't wait to see him reach the highest level in the sport. I do have to thank more than just him, of course, for getting Forged in Ohio to where it is today. I can't thank all the Forged in Ohio fans and Ohio combat sports fans in general for making me feel like I'm making an impression on this space. Like I said at the top, this journey couldn't be more rewarding, and that's because of all of you listening right now, wherever you get your podcasts, watching on the new Forged in Ohio YouTube channel, or supporting on social media at Forged in Ohio as well. I can't wait to see where this show goes from here, and before I know it, hell, before you know it, we'll be hitting episode 100 with Myles Robinson as well. For now, though, thank you all again for tuning into episode 50. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.